Commissioner Scott Hall back in Norwich.
Hey, yo. It's great to be back. As you guys have noticed, you've been here with us since the beginning.
Yeah.
Every show has gotten better and better and better.
This setup is insane. I've never seen Epic Studios looking like this. We'll get some shots after, but like, there's all sorts of big screens and lighting displays. It just gets bigger and bigger, right?
Obviously, somebody else noticed, because the biggest wrestling company in the world is all of a sudden trying to come in here and put a damper on it. So that sends a message to me and to the rest of the crew at WAW and Bellatrix that we're doing the right thing.
You certainly are doing the right thing, exactly, for the biggest company, and you know an awful lot about that as well. So it's tonight, a certain something. In fact, was it this time last year? You appeared, was it WrestleMania last year?
No, it was 30.
Was it the year before?
It was 30, so it'll be 3 years ago this year.
So are you...
New Orleans.
Have you got a date coming up soon that we should keep our eye out for?
Well, I'll be at the one in Orlando this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, now that I'm back in. You got to remember, I was the guy who left.
I know you were.
And went to the competition, and Vince treated me like I stood him up at the prom. You know, I didn't get a royalty check for 15 years, nothing. Then all of a sudden, you know, they slowly welcome me back in. Now I get royalty checks. Now I get treated like a big shot at WrestleMania. I mean, who doesn't want to go to a wrestling show and walk around and have all the young guys come up to you and go, "Oh, I grew up watching you. You're the best." Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It was actually, I think it's because people maybe just joining Mustard TV and learning about WAW, you see you guys all over social media, and of course they may recognise you as well from WWF days in WWE.
Yeah.
But it really was you, Nash, Hogan. There was a huge revolution from WF to WCW. And now you're trying to pass on some of that kudos, some of that experience to the guys in Norwich.
As you'll see later when I'm in my commissioner garb, I always look to the point where I could evolve into a position where I could work behind the scenes, help with the production a little bit, talk to the young guys in the back, wear a sport coat, you know, because I already stood around in my underwear for years. You know, now I want to make a living dressed.
I want to bring to your attention my T-shirt. How much are you loving this?
I'm just not that crazy about the billing. I think this guy should be like
way
up here.
I recognise them all apart from that guy there. Can I ask you, I'm going to give you a little quiz about these guys, all right?
Okay.
So out of this, and this is your only thing you can choose from, I know some of these guys aren't with us anymore, but nevertheless you knew them all.
Yeah.
If you had to go out and party with one of these guys, who would you pick?
Well, I spent a lot of time partying with this guy.
That's Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hemming.
He helped me so much in my career. He was the most unselfish guy I ever met. You know, he helped me when basically this is before guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So we're basically competing for the same job. And he didn't care. His job, they put us together as a tag team when I didn't know anything, but I had the look they liked, and he carried me.
I thought you were going to say Ric Flair for a night out. I've heard some stories about Ric Flair.
Well, you know, I'll say this. When I first broke into business, Ric Flair was the man.
Yeah.
And now, all these years later, he's still kind of the man. You know, I mean, 30 years have gone by, but Rick was the guy who, you know, he'd go into the bar, drinks for everybody, you know, I mean, he made a lot of money, but I think he spent more, you know, but he was a lot of fun to hang around with, but we weren't ever in the same territory really together.
Yeah.
And he was way up here and I was way down here, so I couldn't afford to hang out with Rick.
There are lots of stories about jets and all sorts of limousines with Ric Flair.
Oh, yeah.
So Mr. Perfect for a night out, say, for a big do. If you're throwing a dinner party, who'd be the best conversation? Who'd be the best storyteller? You've got Jake on there, Macho,
I think
Brett.
It wouldn't be
Yokozuna?
Brett.
Not Yokozuna?
If you want to get bored to death, it'd be Brett. Jake is a great storyteller. And he's got a really good voice. He's a great talker.
He spent a lot of time in Norwich as well. He did a lot of wrestling in Norwich.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
10 years ago.
The Macho Man was the most intense guy I've ever met. Like when my first angle in the WWF days was Razor against Macho Man. They put me right on top. And and he's losing to Razor, and he didn't lose back then, and he wasn't too happy about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, one time we're sitting in the bar, and, you know, I'm sitting there by myself, and he came in, and I said, wow, nice boots, Mach. He had these custom-made snakeskin boots on. He goes, what do you mean by that? And I'm like,
just nice boots, that's what I mean.
Your boots are nice? Like, I don't know, calm down. He was super intense. So I don't know fun he would be talking to. I actually never really got to hang around Warrior much.
And finally then, out of these guys, I know you've done a lot of travelling in your days, a lot of road trips, going from venue to venue, state to state.
Right.
Who is the last person you want in your car? Who would you least like to be stuck in a car with?
I'll tell you what do we got over there?
Yokozuna?
I'll tell you what, I have made road trips with all these guys. I have a really funny story about Junkyard Dog, but I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
You know, not on TV, but no, I would enjoy traveling with any of them.
Even Brett?
Oh, I didn't even see Brett, no. No, I'm not, I've never been in a car with Brett, nor will I ever be in a car with Brett.
There you are.
No.
There you go.
In contrast to Perfect, Brett was the most selfish guy I ever met. All he cared about was himself.
But he was huge. Is that maybe why? Like, you know, that isn't the worst trait to lead you to success, maybe.
What, to be selfish?
Yeah, it's got to be a factor to help to a degree, you know, done in the right way.
Well, I think it came back and bit him in the ass, because now it's real common that he's like a jerk, you know? I mean, his reputation as a wrestler is pretty good, but his reputation as a human being is not that good.
Well, I think it's funny that lots of stories do come out with lots of shoot interviews and that sort of thing, lots of podcasts over in the States where we get more access to wrestlers than we've ever had before. I know you've done several of them as well on your own or with Nash and with the other guys as well. And is that a good thing or a bad thing to have people to know more about you, to have more access to you?
I mean, who doesn't have a podcast? I'll do your podcast if you do mine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think when you're a wrestler, there's no such thing as being overexposed. So it's good. I try not to do too many interviews unless it's one of my buddies, because I think if you talk all the time, then when you do talk, nobody listens, you know?
I'm with you. Well, Scott, thanks so much for talking to me today on Mustard. Best of luck tonight with Bellatrix and tomorrow as well, 2 WAW shows as well. So we'll see you again.
Come down to Epic Studios and check us out.